Hey everybody, in this class we're going to continue our discussion of Chapter 10 at Inheritance. Let's take a look at this little drawing here. It looks like Class C is going to inherit from Class B, and that's great. We've seen that. But can the superclass, Class B, can it inherit from another class? Absolutely. And what we're going to see is an example of that right now. So let's look here. I have a file called pass-fail activity extends graded activity. Well, you know what that means. This class inherits from graded activity. And here's graded activity over on the left side. It's got a private attribute score. It will not be able to access that. But the public set score, the get score, and the get grade, all of these it can actually access. Now, pass-fail activity has its own private attribute, minimum passing score. Okay, it has a constructor, okay, that will accept this and accept min passing score to that. That's its constructor. And it has a get grade. Okay, now hold on here for a second. It has a get grade, public char get grade. Let's go over here. Public char get grade. Okay, this is an example of overriding. So this class, it has a get grade method that will override the get grade from graded activity. Okay here, and you can tell it's going to return a P or an F. Now let's go to here. Here is pass-fail exam, and it inherits from pass-fail activity. Holy cow. So I think we know what that means. Okay, it can see all of the public methods here from graded activity, and it can see all of the public methods, okay, from pass-fail. It cannot see the private attribute here, minimum passing score. Okay, so this has three local variables, and right here it has a constructor that accepts three things. Now, let's take a look at this constructor. The first thing this does, it passes this value, min passing, okay, it passes that up to super, up to here, okay, and it goes into there. That's the first thing that happens, okay, and let's see here, okay, here's numeric score, here's num missed. Points each is 100 divided by that. I'm going to use 100 questions, so it's 1. Numeric score is going to be 100 minus whatever times 1. So if you miss 12, it's going to be 88. And then we set score. Okay. So let's kind of walk through this again. I forgot one important concept. When we call this constructor for pass-fail exam, and I said super min passing, yes, it did go up here, and it put it right here, but I forgot to mention at this point, this constructor will call the default constructor for graded activity and just set score to 0. I forgot to mention that. So, and then it assigns this to that, and we jump back to the constructor here, which says it calculates the points each, the numeric score. I'm still in the constructor for this one. And look what this does. This calls set score from graded activity to change the 0 in score that was set there by default to a value. Okay, wow. So that happened there. And then this has its own get points each. It has get num missed. Okay, so now we have the demo, and we have some local variables here, and we ask how many questions. I'm going to say 100. How many questions does student miss? I'm going to say 12. And I'm going to say what's the minimum passing score, and I'm going to say 70. And right here I create a pass-fail exam object called exam right here. Okay, now this is going to send 100 to 12 and 70 up to, let's go ahead and get it, right here. Okay? And the first thing this does, this calls super and sends 70 up to here. But the first thing this does is set score over, it calls the default, it's set score to 0, and then it sets this to 70. And then we come back, and now we are right here. Num questions is 100, num missed is 12. Points each will be 1. Numeric score is going to be 88. We set score to 88, and that's the end of that constructor. Wow. Okay. And now we come here. Each question counts. Exam gets points each. Okay. Now that's going to be 1. That's get points each is right there. And we're going to return 1. We calculated that right here in the constructor here for pass-fail exam. That's where we calculated it. Okay, let's go back to the demo. And it says the exam score is exam get score. Okay, well that's all the way over here, right here in graded activity. Okay, that exam is actually using the exam object. And then, right here, right here. And then we say, okay, the exam grade is exam get grade. Okay, that's not going to use this get grade. It's going to call the overridden one from this particular class right here. It's going to call this one, and it's going to return, okay, super get score is 88 greater than 70. Yeah, it's going to say a P, and it returns that. Wow, and I gave you a lot of stuff here. Watch this a couple times. Take your time and go through this, okay?